Support provided by Lafayette Travel, Red Stick Sports, and the U.S. Army Baton Rouge Recruiting Battalion. All right, so now let's turn to one of the bigger games, not only in the state but in the country. This one was played up in Oxford, Mississippi, the Magnolia Bowl, with LSU ranked number 4 in the country, taking on number 13 Ole Miss. We thought there could be some problems here, but we thought there'd be some opportunities for LSU with the running game. More on that in a moment. There was a grind, but it always is between these two teams. Let's take you up to Oxford and show you how this one played out here, because look, these match up. You know what Lane Kiffin can do offensively. You know what LSU brings to the table. Could they stop the high-flying Ole Miss Rebels team? What kind of challenges would LSU's defense face? Well, let's get things started here. Neither team did anything on the opening drive. This is LSU's second time to have the ball. Nussmeier across the middle. Xavier Thomas, 50 yards on the completion. Tigers get things moving nice and early. 4 plays later, Nussmeier to Trey'Dez Green. Watch this play. The ball is tipped, and Nick Anderson is Nick on the spot for the touchdown. Scott, take a look at this. Tip, flick.
Be around the football. Good things will happen. That's a great job being where he needs to be.
And he pulls it in, holds the balance. You'll see how the ball wants to move a little bit, but he brings it into his chest, and just like that, LSU has the lead. 7-0. Now, Ole Miss has an 18-play drive that results in just a field goal, so it's 7-3 when Nussmeier has the Tigers moving out by the red zone. Bad decision here. Throws in coverage, picked off by Whitehead Williams at the Ole Miss 12. Missed opportunity. Under 6 to go in the first half. Trinidad Chambliss, right side, but this one's picked off. DJ Pickett, and he is gone. Pick 6 for the Tigers. Gets it. Wait, does that say flag?
That might have been the biggest play of the game.
You've got to be kidding me. You're right.
Yeah.
Momentum swing, right? Pass interference. Next play. I don't even need to tell you. That's pass interference.
Can't do that.
Can't do that. So 2 back-to-back defensive pass interference plays. Then the next play, Ken Lacey takes it, 15-yard score. Over 40 yards of penalties on that drive for LSU's defense, and it's 10-7 Ole Miss. Under 20 seconds to go in the half. Chambliss hits Caden Lee for the touchdown. 285 yards for Ole Miss in the first half, but it's just 17-7. LSU adds 2 field goals in the third quarter, so it's 17-13. They are still within shouting distance. Look at K'Wan Lacey move the pile. Good gracious. K'Wan, that's like a rugby scrum. Takes him all the way down to the 3-yard line. 2 plays later, former Tiger Logan Diggs punches it in from 6 yards out. It's 24-13. Under 6 to play, Harlem Berry gets his first collegiate touchdown, 24-19 Ole Miss. So you're still within shouting distance. Got to get the ball, got to be able to convert. 4th and 3 for Ole Miss to seal it. You've got to get a stop. 4th and 3. They're going for it. Oh, that's why. And he plays a smart play. Just sit down, because now game's over. And that's what happened. Lane Kiffin celebrating in a big way as the Rebels get that monkey off their back, and they take care of Blake Baker's defense and LSU as a whole, 24-19 to drop the Tigers to their first loss of the season, 0-1 in conference play. Rushing yards. Problem, alert, needs to be addressed. 166 for the Rebels, just 57 for LSU. And third down conversions, 2 of 11 for LSU. You're not winning on the road or anywhere with that. Ole Miss was 8 of 17. Next up for LSU, a bye week. Things to work on. And then you host the Gamecocks from South Carolina. Brian Kelly, your turn.
Look, Garrett Nussmeier's got to play better. Every player on offense has got to play better, and then we have to be more consistent on defense. I mean, we there's not one guy that you will put out, Koki, and go, well, that was the reason why we lost. There's many players that have to play their best when their best is needed. We weren't very good on third down, right? We've been a really good third down team. We have to be better on third down, and that's not just Garrett. You know, that's we got to get open. Our coaches got to get our guys in a position where they can make some plays. And look, you saw it. We struggled with completing a deep ball, where they did very, very well completing the deep ball. So I don't want to go too long on the answer, but this is not a Garrett Nussmeier problem. This is an entire football team of guys doing their job at a higher level. We started a true freshman at right tackle. Karius Curran didn't know he was going to start until 22 minutes on the clock in pregame. I'm proud of him. He went in there. He's not afraid. He's not perfect. But I'm proud of the kid. He went in there and he battled his butt off.
It's a long season, and you're not even going to have one. What's the messaging to your team right now?
Well, you hit it, right on the head, Mike. It's a long season. We're disappointed with today. Ole Miss was the better football team today, but tomorrow comes, and we have to realize that. I love the way this team prepares. We have to perform better. Our performance was not good enough today, and that performance has to be synchronized with both offense and defense. We can't play sporadic football where we have spurts of really good offense and spurts of really good defense. We have to put that together. And that starts with your players recognizing that they have to do their job, not somebody else's, and they do.
All right, so the challenge has been laid out there for the players, Scott. Evidently, everybody's got to do their jobs better. We're going to talk about some of it in just a moment. Total yards, 254 for LSU. I think they had 146 in the first half for what they were able to do. In terms of their numbers, improving it. First half was not great offensively. Second half was even worse for total yards. You heard him mention a couple things. There's a lot to unpack with what Brian Kelly just said. I agree with you. I think the defensive interception for a touchdown to go up 14-3 comes all the way back. Yeah. Back-to-back defensive pass interference plays leads to a touchdown instead of you being up 14-3. Now they swing.
Yeah, huge swing in the game. And I say that because the struggles you've had offensively. When you see plays like that happen in a game, for you to be able to take that touchdown off the board, knowing offensively you haven't played well, not just against Ole Miss, but you haven't played well in the last couple of weeks. Those type of plays usually come back to haunt you because it's free points on the board. Now you're asking your offense to do something they haven't really shown life in a few weeks to be able to do.
Third downs, LSU was 2 for 11 in the ballgame. Scott, they had 3rd and 20. They had a 3rd and 9. They had a 3rd and 11. Now, a lot of that leads to the issues with running, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But you can't be playing that far back behind the chains. How many 3rd and 11, 3rd and 20s do you have in the playbook?
Not many. That playbook gets really shallow when you get into really just 3rd and 7 plus because any route that you need to develop beyond 7, 8, 9, 10 yards takes time. And if you're not pass protecting well enough, the quarterback doesn't have enough time to set up. That's why the percentage rate of converting 3rd and 7 plus are so low because you need the time to get those routes to develop. This offense, everything just goes back to the running game. It really does. Defensively, I don't think they're being as aggressive defensively because the offense isn't playing as well. And now defensively, you feel like you have to hold teams to 14 points. So I think a lot of these things that are trickling throughout the football team start with the offensive line and not being able to run the football.
And the offensive line could be an issue too. Remember, you've got 2 or 3 guys playing in the NFL this year that were in purple and gold 1 year ago. Yeah. So guys are still trying to adjust up there. But it really does go back to it. And I know Brian Kelly did not like the question a couple of weeks ago. We don't have to rehash that. I think it was because of the timing being the first question after beating Florida. We're going to talk about the elephant in the room. It is the rushing game. 57 total yards against Ole Miss. Can I remind you, we talked about this on Saturday, Scott. Ole Miss has the worst rushing defense in the SEC. It's almost like you didn't even try to challenge them. And when you did, if it didn't work, they pulled the ripcord and went to the passing game.
And I think that's part of the problem. When you have a really good player at quarterback, a Heisman Trophy candidate, you default to let's throw the football right away. You don't even commit to the running game. Well, the problem is you have talented running backs at LSU in the running game. The offensive line needs to play better. The offensive line needs to move people off the line of scrimmage, and that's not happening. There were times in the passing game that Ole Miss was rushing 3 guys and getting sacks. That's unacceptable when you have 5 offensive linemen to block those.
And you go back and you look at some of the plays in the play chart from this ball game, and they had, say, a first play might have been a pass, and then a run that went for 2 yards, and then it was Nussmeier, and then a punt. And then it would be a Nussmeier pass that would go incomplete, 1 run attempt, and then even when they got a first down, the next 3 plays were all passes. It's just no confidence there right now. I know some guys are banged up, but he has said it. If you're going to win in the SEC, you have to be able to run the ball. And right now, they can't, period.
Yeah, how many times we've heard Coach Kelly go back to Coach Saban when he was at Alabama. Kirby Smart, this is a line of scrimmage league. If you're going to win, if you're going to be SEC champions, you're going to get to where you want to get to in Atlanta, you have to be able to control line of scrimmage. And right now, in the run game and the pass game, LSU has concerns along that offensive line. And offensively, I know the default button is easy to push when you have Garrett Nussmeier quarterback. Let's just keep throwing the football. But you need to help him out as well.
Well, now they get a bye week to work on it before they welcome the Gamecocks from South Carolina to Death Valley in 2 weeks.